Oh my goodness, is it a fun time every single time I step out at Cozy Mystery Station. But this week, we have some updates that may surprise you. Welcome or welcome back to Mr. Francy Reads! Let's go! Yes, hello and welcome or welcome back to Mr. Francy Reads. I am of course Mr. Francy and I'm honoured that you've chosen once again to join me today as we go through my weekly vlog discussing everything that's happened in the past week. Well, when it comes to reading, I have quite a number of updates. So we're going to go as always in chronological order, and the first book that I read this week, indeed, as I mentioned last time, was No Palm, No Foul by Linda Riley. This is book number 2 in the Grilled Cheese Mystery series. It is an adult cozy mystery book, and I gave this book a total of 4 stars. Yeah, this series is fast becoming one of my absolute favourites. It's important for you to know, if you haven't ventured into the cozy mystery realm before, that there are many different themes that come with each series of cozies. You know, some cozies will deal with animals, some cozies will deal with painting, some will deal with party event planning, and so on and so forth. But my favourite type of cozy, and I love many different themes, but my favourite type is culinary cozies. Cozies that deal with food in some way, shape or form. One thing I've discovered recently when it comes to culinary cozies that I've read is the levels of culinariness, I guess I could say, within the cozies. Sometimes the culinary cozies can be extremely culinary and very involved when it comes to food, and sometimes it's literally just a reason for a series title, and whatever, wherever our main character is working, that place that may sell food will just serve as a backdrop for the story, but it's not culinary in any other way. Not with this series. This series is extremely culinary. There are so many moments throughout book 1 and this one being book 2 in this series where our protagonist, whose name I think is Robbie. No, it's Carly. Robbie, I guess, is someone completely different. I don't know who Robbie is. I'm a little concerned by that. Who the heck is Robbie? Oh, I think Robbie is from Country Store. I'm going to check that. One moment. I get a cookie. Robbie is from Country Store. Carly is from Grilled Cheese. I was wondering why I was getting confused. There are many moments where Carly is talking about different things that she is cooking at her eatery, and it makes sense. The title of the series is Grilled Cheese Mystery Series because she makes a ton of grilled cheeses and other variations on your, you know, what we call here in Australia, your toasties. You know, when you put 2 pieces of bread, get 2 pieces of bread, put some things in the middle and heat them so they become crispy on the outside and you enjoy the whatever's in the middle. And a grilled cheese is American terminology for what we call in Australia a cheese toasty. And yeah, they are just absolutely divine. So no wonder they work in this series. And Carly's eatery, not quite a cafe, not quite a restaurant, an eatery, revolves around her making grilled cheeses and variations on the grilled cheese and other types of cozy food for her clientele, or her customers, but you know what I mean. So yeah, that's been a whole lot of fun. She also works with one of her employees, Grant. I had to think what his name was there, Grant. And Grant also will recommend some recipe ideas to her as well. And so food and cooking does come up a very significant amount in this series, and I do love that. So yeah, that was a whole lot of fun. As far as the mystery is concerned, the book opens up with the owner of Subway sub, something along those lines, walking into Carly's grilled cheese eatery to tell her that he is very much not happy with her because the health inspectors have come around and he knows that she's the one that called them. I don't know that she's the one that called them. I don't feel like it was confirmed, but he knows that it was her. Anyway, the next day or the day after that, this guy winds up dead, and so we have to try and find out what the heck is going on here, because obviously the cops have reason to think that Carly could be a suspect. One thing I found very surprising is that Carly seemed to be a bit surprised that she was going to be a suspect. And I'm thinking, well, hello, the last time he was seen in public with anyone was having an argument with you, so of course you're going to be considered a suspect. But anyway. But aside from that, I have a lot of love for Robbie, and oh my gosh, for her little dog, who I do not remember his name. Isn't that just sad? Yes, it is very sad, because I wrote a character list of all the characters we meet in this book as I was annotating it over on my private Discord server, and this dog's name, oh, I thought the dog was there, but the dog is there. This dog's name is definitely worth mentioning, because with a cozy mystery that revolves around grilled cheeses, how much sense does it make that the dog's name is Havati? Oh my gosh, I love it. Havati, the cheese. So nice. I see what you did there, Linda Riley, and yeah, that was very, very good. So yeah, there's your cozy setup, there's your mystery setup, and all I can say is that I don't remember the last time I said a cozy mystery author writes for me. I've said it with a fantasy author, Brandon Sanderson. My dear Brando Sando, he writes for me. We're all aware of this. But I will say that if any cozy mystery author writes for me, it's Linda Riley. I am yet to be let down by her. Fingers crossed, touch wood, that it doesn't happen, because so far I can't find fault with either book 1 or book 2 anywhere. And that's why I say clearly Linda Riley has written for me. I highly recommend this series. Yeah, because it's just so amazing. If you're someone who loves your culinary fiction, whether it be culinary cozies or just other types of culinary fiction, I think you will absolutely love this series. Linda Riley has taken every precaution that she needed to and just made sure she did everything to ensure that the books, at least books 1 and 2, come across as extremely culinarily cozy. Like on a 10 out of 10 or maybe an 8, I'll be fair. An 8 out of 10 on the culinary scale, which is very high because there are some that are like a 1 out of 10. 5 stars from me. Highly, highly, highly recommend. So, as you can see, with no palm, no foul, the week started off so well for me, and I couldn't wait to dive into some more cozies. And then some things started happening, and Mr. Francy didn't have the best cozy mystery reading week after all, so we're really going to enjoy the fact that I loved No Palm, No Foul, and just appreciate the fact that Mr. Francy finds it really hard to talk bad about any book at all, and also feels even worse when I know it's books that you'll love. But I need to be honest, because at the end of the day, a lot of you out there trust my opinion, and in order for that to continue to happen, I need to be truthful with you all. If I don't like a book, I need to tell you. So please know that while I have a lot of love for people who love these books I'm going to show you, it doesn't, it can't stop me from having my opinion and from being scared to admit if I don't like a book, when I really am honestly scared. So, but anyway, please, no hate at all. Just me being honest. Here we go. Okay. The next book that I picked up was this book, Death by Dumpling by Vivian Chen. This is book number 1 in the Noodle Shop Mystery series, and it is again an adult cozy mystery, and again it is marketed as a culinary cozy. I'm going to jump right in and tell you right now, on a Mr. Francy scale, when it comes to culinary cozies, this is a 1 out of 10. So I was already disappointed by the fact that I went in, as you saw when I did the my January TBR. I was like, oh, it's about pasta because noodles are pasta. Woo! No. Okay, before we go any further, you need to be aware that this is one of those types of mysteries, at least in book 1. Book 2 could be very different, but at least in book 1, where there is a noodle shop. Absolutely. Our main character, Lana, works for her mother at her mother's noodle shop. But you need to know that the noodle shop is literally just the backdrop of the story. We don't go into the kitchens and watch Lana make noodles, make dumplings, all those sorts of things. That does not happen, at least not in book 1. And that did let me down. The premise of this first book in this series is that, as I say, we do follow our MC Lana, who does work at her mother's noodle shop. Lana is Taiwanese, and I really appreciated the Taiwanese representation because it is not something that is either common or happens at all outside of this series that I've found. And so I would love to see a lot more Taiwanese representation when it comes to cozy mysteries. So please don't think I'm upset with the Taiwanese representation. I'm not. I was thrilled with that, but there were just other things I wasn't a fan of. All right, so as I say, Lana works for her mother at her mother's noodle shop, and the guy who is, the landlord in charge of the rent and all that is upsetting a lot of people because he's going to raise the rent, and very early on in the book, he ends up dead, so we need to find out what the heck is going on here. Lana has a roommate that she lives with who I absolutely love. Oh, and while I'm at it, I'll mention Lana has a dog by the name of Kiko, which I love so much because my first dog that I owned with my family, his name was Kiko as well. So it was really nice reading about another dog named Kiko. Although Lana's dog was named differently to how mine was, not only in spelling but in meaning. Lana's dog's name is spelled K-I-K-K-O, and it's short for Kikoman. Which is, that soy sauce, where my dog Kiko, who was spelled K-I-K-O, had we thought 5 minutes longer, he would have been K-E-I-K-O, was actually named after the whale from Free Willy, Keiko. Which means free spirit. So they are both the same sounding name, just different reasons. Kiko. And bless my dear Kiko. I hope that he's doing well. I have a lot of love for my dog, Kiko, but he's no longer with us, unfortunately. Anyway, let's move on. So, Lana has this roommate who is very excitable. I love her roommate so much. This would be a series that I would read for Lana's roommate because she seems to be very positive, very excitable, very energetic, and I just love that. I think me and Lana's roommate would get on like a house on fire. But, I probably shouldn't have said that. I'm so sorry. Given what's going on. So, big shout out to everyone in LA. I hope you're all okay at the moment. I'm sorry. It's merely a metaphorical saying that I'm trying to say there. But Lana's roommate and I would get on really well. Okay, moving on. Okay, so Lana's roommate suggests to Lana that they should try and solve the mystery because Lana likes reading a lot of books, including detective books. So why not? Let's try, even though we have no experience. And I get that that's what an amateur sleuth is, but it did come across as extremely sloppy, the execution of trying to solve the mystery. It just, really didn't work for me. There were a lot of decisions that Lana made that just made no sense other than the fact that she's never done this before. Really didn't want to seemingly do this in the first place. It was more her roommate who was pushing her into doing it and all those sorts of things. But look, I have to say, I loved Lana's mother. I know that there are a lot of people who don't like the family and the way that the family are treating Lana. I can understand that. It seems to me to be a very Taiwanese or even just Asian in general culture that, families have a lot of high expectations of their children especially. And in this one, something you should know going in is that Lana's mother is very much determined to see Lana getting married because she needs a boyfriend, she needs to settle down, she needs to have a husband. Let's get this done, otherwise you're going to wind up alone. So if that is something that does not interest you, just know it does occur in book 1, and she makes that point quite a few times. But honestly, for me, I took it with a grain of salt. It's a cozy mystery series. I've seen the trope play out many times in TV shows and movies, so I didn't take it too personally. I just took it with a grain of salt, going, this is kind of what the culture is. So, and I don't say that because of my TV and movie experience. I've had people of Asian culture tell me that this is actually how it is. So yeah, I just took it as it was funny. It's a work of fiction, so it is what it is. But yeah, if that's something you're not interested in, just know it does happen. Also, if you're someone who wants your culinary cozies on the Mr. Francy scale of like 10 out of 10, it's not there. It's like a 1, and that's it. Lana is the delivery person. She pours the teas, she cleans the tables, but she does it. If she cooks anything in this noodle shop restaurant, then we don't see it happen, at least not in book 1. Anyway, I ended up giving the book 3 stars. I thought that it was a wonderful start from Vivian Chen, a great foundation for a place to work off of moving forward from book 1. So I definitely will be giving book number 2 a go before determining if it's for me or not, but book number 1 I found to be an average read and just not what I expected. So once I was finally done with Noodle Shop, because it took me a little bit longer to get through than I expected, I was very excited to pick up my next cozy mystery, which was book number 6 in the Millie Cruise Ship Cozy Mystery series by Hope Callahan. I love this series. We're going to add a D to the end of that word in just a moment, so be ready. Okay. I had many issues with this book. This book is called Cruise Control, and the byline is When Two Worlds Collide. Yeah. Okay. So, I love this series. This is such an amazing series. We follow an octogenarian by the name of Millie, who just for a laugh decides she's going to apply for the role of assistant cruise director on a ship that is called the something. It's really funny because just as I went to click into the channel where I wrote down what the cruise ship's name was, I remembered. It's called the Siren of the Seas. Anyway, yeah, so she applies to work on the Siren of the Seas as an assistant cruise director just for a laugh. She's had no experience doing this before, and she just thought it would be funny to apply. Well, lo and behold, she gets the job. And, yeah, just a lot of great things ensue for the first, this is book 6, so for the first 5 books. In book 1, we spend a lot of time walking around the ship, getting to know all the different areas, the different people who work there, and it's just such a feel-good, I can't think of what the word is, but feel-good for sure type of series. But what I'm trying to say here is you very strongly feel like you are there on the ship with walking alongside Millie because of the way Hope Callahan wrote the book. So I'm sorry that I don't remember what that term is. But yeah, the execution of the first 5 books were absolutely fantastic. With this one, Hope decided to do something which I completely get why. I just really didn't enjoy it. So she has also written another series, and I think it's called like the Garden Lady series or something like that. And so what she's decided to do in this book of the Millie Cruise Ship Mystery series is grab her Garden Ladies as well as her Cruise Ship Ladies and put them together on the ship in one book. Now that's fine. I think that's wonderful. It's great to celebrate merging 2 series into one book. I've seen it play out in other books. I've seen it play out in movies. I've seen it play out in TV shows. Who will ever forget the Simpsons Family Guy hybrid episode? I loved it. It was so good. Revolutionary, given what was going on behind the scenes, but we'll let that go. It was, yeah, really, I really enjoyed it. So it has the potential to be fantastic when you're merging 2 different series into one episode or book. Book could be seen as an episode when it comes to a series also. But anyway, moving on, especially in a cozies because they're really short. Speaking of cozies being really short, my biggest problem occurred in this book with the fact that we are merging because cozy mysteries are singular perspective. We follow the internal thoughts, feelings, goings on, all their senses of one person. And the reason why we do this is because cozy mysteries are really short. We don't have time to focus on more than one perspective, and one perspective is more than enough for us to get through, the cozy side as well as the story. Unfortunately, with this book, not only did that not happen, but we head hopped so many times. and it was way too confusing. I get that Hope Callahan wanted to represent everyone she could in both series. I haven't read the Garden Lady series, but literally we would get, I'm giving you a very minor example that means nothing in as far as spoilers, so that you know what I mean. We would have Millie take these garden ladies to their room, and she would, bid them a wonderful day because she has to go back and do what she's doing. And then the garden friend would close the door. Millie would walk away, and the next thing we know, we're in the head of this garden lady who's going, she was now looking around the room and whatever. And it was very, very much like a jarring experience for me. So I gave a very loose example in my Goodreads review, so I'll read it out to you now. This is not an example from the book, it's just to give you an idea. George looked out over the bay. It was a beautiful morning and the salty air filled his nostrils. He thought, fresh sea air. Robert came in the room thinking about last night's dinner. The steak was lovely, but the chef could have used more lemon, he thought. Cody spied the seagull on the deck and knew it was going to be a long night. No, this is not 3 separate sentences. This is what a paragraph would be like. Yeah. So it was like one person's head, the next person's head, the next person's head, the next person's head, and that is one paragraph, not, 3-4 pages. One paragraph. And I couldn't focus on the mystery because of this. It was way too jarring, way too distracting for me. And that's unfortunate because the mystery was a really good setup. We have these people that have come on board the Siren of the Seas and they've hijacked the cruise ship. And so they're on the water. How the heck are they going to escape? How are they going to deal with this? An amazing idea for a mystery, but I just can't because one moment I'm with Millie, next moment I'm with this one. What's going on here? So I really could have DNF'd this book, but I decided not to because I love the series so much. And if anything pertinent came up in this book that I needed to know moving forward with the rest of the series, I didn't want to miss out on that thing. I'm going to let you know right now. Nothing did. Nothing pertinent that you need to know moving forward in the series came up in the book at all. It can absolutely be viewed as a standalone. But for me, it just really did not work. And I'm trying to find out what I rated it. Oh yeah, 2 stars. I just can't justify giving Hope Callahan 1 star. I think she is a fantastic writer. Everything I've read of hers so far, and that is limited to the first 5 books in this series, I thought were 100% fantastic. But just this one really, really did not work at all for me for the reasons I've already stated. So 2 stars for this one. So the next book I picked up was book number 7 because I planned on reading 2 Millie Cruise Ship Cozy Mystery series every single month so that I can catch up with the entire series. And that is Killer Karaoke, again by Hope Callahan, book 7, AD Adult Cozy Mystery. Okay, I made it 45 pages into this book and DNF'd. Yeah, my first DNF for 2025. And I'm just going to say it right now. I have DNF'd the entire Millie Cruise Ship series, which was very hard for me to do. I went into bookish mourning last night over it because I loved this series so much. And I'm not going to cry or anything, but I feel like I could. I really loved this series so much. I loved the first 5 books. Walking alongside Millie as we would, go here, there, and everywhere on the cruise ship and see all the different activities, meeting all the people that are there. Everyone's just so lovely. I really loved this series so much. To say that book 6 is the reason I DNF'd is not fair because I didn't DNF book 6, I continued on with book 6. I got to the start of book 7 and was thinking, yay, okay, the flower ladies are gone. We're going to go back to your standard thing that I'm used to with the first 5 books of this series. And with the first chapter or 2, yes, we absolutely went back to the norm. And I love that. But then I very quickly realized, oh, no, we're not doing that. And right away from, I think even chapter 2, in chapter 2, we found out who was murdered. I won't say who it was. I'll just say there was a murder. We find out who was murdered and we're trying to solve who the heck the killer is. And the cozy side was just gone. Normally in this series, it doesn't work that way. Normally in this series, we may find out that there was a murder, but we're still going to get your cozy side for a number of chapters. That did not happen in this book. We went straight into the mystery side. So, yeah, the series has completely changed for me, and not for the better in my opinion. There are a lot of people who love this series, and that's wonderful, and I still love Hope Callahan, but we're going into, like, era 2, I feel, of cruise ship, and era 2 is just, it's not for me. I enter my cozies for the cozy side, not for the mystery side. And if you are going to abandon the cozy side in favor of the mystery side when you never did that in era 1, that is more than enough for me to justify a DNF. So I DNF'd that book, and alongside it made the very, very, very tough decision to DNF the series that I absolutely loved so much in the first 5 books. So I will no longer be reading Millie Cruise Ship anymore. The good news about this is that it opens up 2 extra slots every single month, moving forward for, books that I can add to TBRs. So yay, that's wonderful. And you will see 2 books on my February TBR that were not going to be there initially because I was going to be reading Millie Cruise Ship. Now, also what made it much easier to DNF the series as a whole is the fact that this is the longest by far and away series that I was going to work through this year. At the moment, there are 24 books out in this series, and as I say, I DNF'd book 7. So yeah, like, you know, I had more than 2/3 of the series left to go, so I was totally fine to DNF now. But yeah, it allows me to branch off and experience other cozy mysteries that I wouldn't get the chance to do so. And yeah, that's how I'm justifying it. I'm DNFing a cozy mystery series, so I'm going to replace the DNF'd cozy mystery series with additional cozy mysteries, because I want to open myself up to other cozies. And I'm getting a whole ton of great recommendations when it comes to cozies, which I really appreciate. So I also don't feel as bad that I'm DNFing this one, because hey, I'm going to experience a whole lot more. So moving forward, because I am so happy about this, the next book I plan to read is a cozy that was already on my TBR, and I'm glad, because I want to go out on a cozy mystery high before the month ends. So I'm finally going to be reading this fabulous series, I'll Be Home for Mischief by Jacqueline Frost. Is book number 4 or 5? I'm trying to work it out. 5. Book number 5 in the Christmas Tree Farm Cozy Mystery Series. Jacqueline Frost, for those of you who don't know, is a pen name for Julie and Lindsay. There are reasons why she has a pen name on this cover. We won't explore that now because we are rapidly running out of time, but I will just say this. If you love Christmas and you want a cozy mystery series, that is, and I kid you not, you all know how honest I am, I've been very honest throughout this whole video, that is Christmas, 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 Christmas to the umpteenth degree in a cozy mystery. That's what you're going to get with this series. It is incredibly Christmassy. There are so many Christmas theme, decoration, games, experiences that occur in this series. It is so much fun. I did not get into this one in December, and so I'm happy that I'm playing catch up now and cannot wait to get into this one. It's going to be amazing. And speaking of amazing, guess what? I mean, how amazing is fiction, which is my shortened way of saying fantastic fiction. Ladies and gentlemen, let me be the first, or one of the first, to announce that book number 6, this is 5, book number 6 has just been announced. Yes, it is called A Wonderful Christmas Crime, and it will be released in October of 2025. There's your screenshot. Enjoy. Yee, we get more Christmas tree fun. I'm very excited. You should have seen me yesterday. I got the email alert yesterday and I was so happy. Yee. Now, I am going to not do a personal or TV update in this weekly vlog, but there is a reason for it. I will be catching up with that stuff in a separate video for reasons that will be explained in that separate video. But yeah, obviously, we've taken long enough. discussing these books. Just so you know, I know that, you know, not a lot of people love really long booktube videos, but when it comes to my weekly vlogs, especially my reading vlogs, I take more time to discuss the books because in the monthly wraps, I don't get a lot of time to talk about them. And I like to refer back to these, you know, weekly vlogs and say, if you'd like to know more, I go into a lot more detail in my weekly vlogs. So yeah, you know, I hope that, you know, you don't mind that it was longer because I wanted to have a more in-depth discussion with you all about my thoughts and feelings on the books and why I rated what I did and how I felt how I felt, and you know what I'm trying to say. But anyway, that is it. This weekly vlog is covering from whenever we last left off through to the 24th of January 2025. I very quickly want to say that yesterday, the 23rd of January 2025, was my 6-year anniversary on BookTube. So yee! Happy anniversary, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Whether you joined me a minute ago, a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, or you were there from the beginning, thank you. I love you all so very much. Letting you all go with peace, blessings, and so much love. Please do be kind, love one another, and spread your sparkling energy all throughout the world. And until next time, happy reading. Bye, everyone!